The International Longshoremen's Association just announced that they have reached an agreement with United States Maritime Alliance over issues like wage and automation. It is not clear exactly what the issues they are celebrating about, what the agreement exactly entails. We just know that agreement has been reached and we'll be notified in the upcoming minutes. The last South Florida king tide cycle of the year started earlier this week, leaving places like here in Virginia Key flooded with over 2 feet of water, but not because of the rain. These politicians, the local politicians, they haven't come to campus. They don't come to, so University of Miami's in Coral Gables. I haven't had a politician come to Coral Gables or nearby kind of promoting what they're talking about, meeting with students, which I think if they did, that would be incredible to them, but also beneficial to the students.
And while baton twirling might not seem like the most dangerous job on the football field, it is when you light two of them on fire.
Behind me is the construction of the new University of Miami freshman dorms. Construction broke ground in June 2022 and is expected to be completed in August 2026. Now, throughout this whole process, the University of Miami has really been pushing a sustainability initiative. The school is hoping to earn a gold certification for leadership in energy and environmental design. Thanks, guys. I'm live in front of the Bright Line station in Brickell in Miami, where starting tomorrow, passengers will be able to travel directly from Miami to Orlando. The trip will take about 3.5 hours and will cost $79. Blake, I'm here at Lakeside Patio where Cane's Fiesta is just kicking off. Now, this is in celebration of Hispanics here at UM. The University of Miami is holding their 52nd annual Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Now, there are over 500 people here tonight, and that is because the class of 2020 could not hold their celebration due to the COVID-19 pandemic, so they are combining with the class of 2022. 18 inductees are here, 4 are not here due to still playing in professional leagues. Club rugby has been at UM since 1969, and they're tackling their sport like never before. Thanks, Embrick. We're live from Cobb Stadium, where it is currently pouring, and Miami just lost to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They were hoping to bounce back after last Friday night's loss in double overtime. During halftime, UM football will honor legendary coach Howard Schnellenberger. He basically put UM football on the map in the early 80s. Virgil says he hopes the exhibit will prompt people to remember the past and inspire them to think about their roles and responsibilities in shaping our future. The exhibit will run through January 11th, 2025, and is free for all to attend.
How do you act on what you hear?
I think it's easier now when we're talking specifically about social media because say you tag an account, say you're doing a story about a person and you could tag their social media handle, you can go directly to the person's Instagram account, Twitter account, whatever it is, and see what they are saying in their own words in addition to the story. Florida now has a new law limiting the number of banned school books that residents are allowed to challenge. Starting on July 1st, people without children in a school district can only file 1 complaint per month. Republican Governor Ron DeSantis signed this bill into law on Tuesday in Jacksonville, where he had said some school districts may have gone too far in removing some titles. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez is approaching his final year in office in 2025. What are the mayor's upcoming plans for the year, and how will this affect the city of Miami? Ethan Gainey is live in studio now with Mayor Suarez, looking for some answers. Ethan?
This weekend, I heard there's a big rivalry football game, and I heard you're going to be there.
I'm actually going up to Tallahassee. So excited. Are you going?
I am not going. A little bit too long of a drive for me personally, to be honest.
Oh, I'm going to sleep the whole way up. But for those staying in Miami, student meteorologist Quinn Davidson is in studio with your weekend weather forecast. Quinn? Coming up, we'll tell you all about one group that is jumping over barriers and creating a fun way to create community and prioritize mental health. Plus, learn how one woman is defying the odds and making her dreams come true. We'll be right back. And speaking of the moon, this weekend marked the start of the Lunar New Year. It's a holiday that's celebrated by hundreds of millions of people across Asia and around the world, including here in South Florida. Next Monday, many across North America will get to witness a total solar eclipse. This occurs when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, blocking out the sunlight. Well, time for a short break now, but when News Vision returns, we'll introduce to you one man who is helping people in need by collecting lost golf balls. We'll explain in just a few minutes. Stay with us. And as spring break continues, this week is also Miami Music Week. The annual festival is marking its 13th year, and it is bigger than ever. Our reporter Billy Brightman is live at Bayfront Park outside of the biggest Miami Music Week event of them all. Billy, what's going on? Well, I wish the eclipse passed over Miami. I would have loved to experience an eclipse and not have to wait 20 years until the next one. But until that date comes, it's time for a short break. When News Vision returns, we'll introduce to you one South Florida father and son duo who have taken their bond to the next level. We'll be right back. It happened just after 9:15 in the morning on September 23rd when a woman in her 50s drove her Porsche through the wall and over the edge of this Coral Gables parking garage on the corner of San Remo Avenue and South Red Road. By sheer luck, the car was caught by a tree where it got lodged, leaving it suspended over 30 feet above the ground.
Luckily, there was a tree in place that stopped the vehicle from falling out into the street.
I saw part of the woman. I saw her in the door of the car and then the firefighter rambling down and then coming to get her out the side.
And even first responders were surprised at the scene that unfolded.
But it's one of the first that I've seen in my career. Something that's this dramatic in the last 19 years, probably one of the first times I've seen an accident like this, especially with favorable results.
The scene was chaotic but highly coordinated, with more than 30 fire officials responding in less than 7 minutes. Division Chief Xavier Jones from Coral Gable Fire Rescue described the intense rescue situation that unfolded on the ledge right there behind me.
We had a firefighter that was lowered by the rope into the vehicle, and we rescued her from them.
Structural engineers evaluated the building and found the only major damage to the structure was a concrete barrier that fell when the car hit it. Fire rescue and engineers agree that without the tree, the accident might have turned deadly.
It could have landed on another car that was parked in a parking space there. It could have went nose down dive, ended up ejecting the patient from the vehicle. So she really got lucky. This type of accident is definitely few and far between.
Fire Rescue warns people about double-checking safety features before operating a vehicle.
I just say on the driver's side is just making sure that you're paying attention. Accidents do happen, but just trying to be more vigilant to ensure that the car is either in park or whatever direction of travel that you're trying to go, and making sure that you're oriented with gas or brake.
The police have not released the woman's name, but they told us she was taken to a local hospital and suffered no serious injuries. Nobody else was injured.
Fire officials believe driver error caused the crash, but today, the focus is on the life-saving work of first responders. Investigations into the building are ongoing. From Coral Gables, Regina Potenza, UMTV.
I got a job inside.
With no family members living nearby, Broward County resident Casilda Smith felt more isolated than ever when the COVID pandemic hit.
She was the first one that came here, and then we talked about everything.
And Casilda is not alone. According to a 2022 Forbes article, Florida is the second loneliest state in the U.S. But now, one organization is working to change this.
That's not for her.
Her is Tracy Miller. She's a volunteer at Heart to Heart, an organization that connects thousands of volunteers across South Florida with seniors they can visit and keep company.
I love being a part of her life. I love hearing her share her stories of her life. And that's what we do when I come visit her. And we just sit in front of the window and we talk. We're both blessed. We're both blessed to find each other, and we've both been blessed by Heart to Heart.
It's a blessing me to her, because I know whatever she do, I would find somebody else doing like what she do for me.
Casilda said that Tracy's visits to her home are always the highlight of her week. But Heart to Heart doesn't just operate here in Broward County. They actually have thousands of seniors and volunteers all the way from Palm Beach down to Miami-Dade and are looking to expand.
Heart to Heart was created in Fort Lauderdale in 2010. Heart to Heart's mission is to connect, advocate, respond, and engage. But the biggest gift Heart to Heart has given seniors is hope.
I think you can just even give a senior in the home to continue, living another day.
Over 1 million seniors in Florida currently live alone, according to Florida Health Charts, and that number is steadily increasing. And as for Tracy and Casilda, 4 years of friendship has evolved into something bigger.
It's been a good relationship. I don't know if you would call it grandmother, granddaughter, mother-daughter, aunt, but it feels like family. I can't identify what family member it would be, but we do feel like family.
The only way I forgot her is when I'm not breathing no more. That's the only time I will forget her. And that's enough.
Casilda shows that even at 90 years old, it's never too late to grow your inner circle.
She is more than pocket in my children. She's more than her pocket. The best thing that could happen.
Regina Potenza, UMTV. Trumpets, drums, Saxophones. Musical instruments are usually the first thing people associate with school bands. But at the University of Miami, the girl leading the Frost Band of the Hour during halftime is not a musician. She's the band's baton twirler, the first the band has had in years.
I had to figure out what a twirler's job was in this band. Sometimes they let you have complete control. Sometimes you're not going to twirl. So that can sometimes be really difficult. We kind of had to figure that out.
Mackenzie is a senior pre-physical therapy student from Westchester, Pennsylvania. She has been twirling since she was 6 years old and now organizes her performances completely on her own.
She is a little bit of a unicorn within the band. She does something that nobody else is doing. She doesn't rehearse with us the same way everybody else has to. She's left to her own devices a lot, but she still manages to put out this just amazingly professional product.
Mackenzie also doesn't receive any funding from the school, so she pays for her own outfits, including the 6,000 Swarovski crystals that are needed to bedazzle each outfit. And Mackenzie's sister spends 30 hours per outfit gluing each crystal down one by one.
It's kind of something fun for me to do when I'm not in college, so it's kind of a way for me to still stay involved with baton a little bit since I stopped twirling 4 years ago now. That was kind of around the time that I started doing the designing for Mackenzie, so it's just a good way to keep me still involved.
And while baton twirling might not seem like the most dangerous job on the football field, it is when you light two of them on fire.
You just have to keep them moving because if you don't, the flames will get really, really large. I mean, it's a little bit scarier, especially if you're doing 2 or 3, or a little bit more scary.
Mackenzie is only allowed to twirl fire at Hard Rock Stadium on weekends where there is no NFL game there. While very rare, sometimes there are hiccups in flaming baton twirling, like this past weekend when the flaming batons dipped in kerosene took a few tries to ignite.
You make it a show them that you're relighting on the other ends, and then you're like, oh, look at me, I'm lighting this one.
Mackenzie practices 3 times a week with the Frost Band for 2 hours each session, and on the weekends with a private coach. In the US, there are around 1 million baton twirlers total, around 350 collegiate baton twirlers according to the National Athletic Trainers Association, and less than 500 professional twirlers in the country. Since twirling batons is such a physical activity, almost all twirlers have to end their careers in their early 20s.
My body is hitting a point where sometimes it's getting a little hard for me to do what I used to be able to do. It's time, but it's also, it's sad.
And for Mackenzie, this season twirling will be her last as she is graduating in May.
It's kind of bittersweet because I'm having so much fun, but it also is sad because it's been a part of my life since literally I was 6 years old. It's always going to be a part of my life.
With no other twirlers in line to take over Mackenzie's role, she created an Instagram account so future UM twirlers can one day learn from her experiences and follow in her footsteps.